welcome to my channel. This week I am going to talk about a case that has angered me so much, and it actually angered me so much from start to finish, and I'm sure it will do the same for you. So let's get started. This is the case of Zara Aleena, and it took place in a large town in the east of London called Ilford. Now, we are going to go back in time to start this story. We're going to go back to the 26th of June 2022. On the streets that should have been safe for Zara to walk around on, or for anybody for that matter to walk around on. They should have been safe, but unfortunately that day they just weren't. So a little bit about Zara. Now, she was a young woman. She was 35 years old, like the same as what I am. So really, young. And she had just completed her formal training to become a lawyer. She started a 2-year programme with the Royal Courts of Justice to become a fully qualified solicitor. So she was done all her kind of formal education, was just on the path to completing her training, and was doing something that she really wanted to do. Zara was a smart cookie. She was exactly where she wanted to be in life. Her family described her as fierce. She didn't just strive, she actually thrived. She was loved by all her family in the community, and she was very active within her community as well. Late on the evening of the 25th into the early morning of the 26th of June, Zara was out having some drinks with her friend. She was just letting her hair down, as you would, just having some fun. At the same time Zara was out, there was also somebody else out in London, a man called Jordan McSweeney. Now, let me give you a bit of background to Jordan McSweeney. In fact, let me call him the douchebag, Jordan McSweeney. Jordan was born in 1993, and he lived in a place called Dagenham, which is also a town in the east of London. He was 29 when this crime took place, but that is far from where his criminal career started. When Jordan was in his teens, he was convicted of assaulting a woman. He actually had 28 convictions for 69 crimes. I mean, that figure just blows your mind. I can't even comprehend that. It's ridiculous. These crimes were dating back to 2006, and they were ranging from burglary to assaulting the police. There was also racially motivated offences in there, so that kind of leads on to what happened to Zara later on. And one of the real kickers in this case, and one thing that gets my blood really boiling, is that Jordan should have been in prison at the time of this crime. It's baffling to think that a mistake such as this had been made, with such terrible consequences. But yes, a mistake was made, and the Met Office went out and tried to arrest him 2 days before this offence took place, but he wasn't at the address that he provided for them, that the police had on record for him. And it was found that after an internal investigation took place, it was found that there weren't enough probation officers, resulting in mistakes happening, and it was a mistake that he got let out of prison, and he shouldn't have been. I told you this one was going to make you angry, and there's even more after the crime that will make your blood boil, but I'll get to that after. So now we know a bit about the delight that is Jordan McSweeney, let's get back to the 26th of June. So Jordan and Zara were both out for drinks completely separately. Jordan, being the charmer that he is, he got himself kicked out of a pub for being abusive towards the bar staff. Surprise. Obviously at this point he was filled with booze, and now he was super angry, and he wanted to take that out on someone. and he decided to take that anger out on a woman. So before Jordan crossed paths with Zara that evening, frighteningly, he attempted to hurt 2 other women in the early hours of that morning. And this is all captured on CCTV. One of the women was walking home when Jordan, spotted her and started his pursuit of her. This woman actually notices Jordan. Thankfully, she notices Jordan and she becomes anxious. This is visible on CCTV of Jordan, stalking her. As she's looking over her shoulder, she's speeding up her walking. Eventually, she gets herself into a shop, just a regular kind of corner shop, and she gets in there. She managed to look around, and Jordan sees her going in there, and then he's seen stepping back, and she looks out the shop, has a look around, sees that nobody's there, and exits the shop to carry on her journey home, thinking that this weirdo has gone. But Jordan was just hiding a little bit back from the exit of the shop, and as soon as she leaves the shop, Jordan continues his pursuit of her. So she obviously notices him again because she's on edge after what's happened, and she legs it. She absolutely sprints because she's not far away from her house at this point. So she absolutely legs it and makes it to her door, gets her key in and gets inside, locks the door, obviously terrified. And Jordan can be seen, so she gets away from him at this point, and Jordan can be seen actually looking behind cars and looking for her because he thinks that she's hiding. He doesn't realise that she's actually got into her home safely. So this guy is obviously a real piece of work, and he doesn't take this setback as a get home type thing. He decides that he's going to find somebody else, and then next he unfortunately finds Zara. So like earlier in the evening, a lot of this is caught on CCTV. Jordan is hanging around the Ilford station on the road is called Cranbrook Road, and this road stretches a really long way, and Zara was taking her route home along this road. He's seen following her for up to half a mile towards Valentine's Park, and it's just before this park he makes his attack on Zara. So this attack is done in a really heavily residential area out in the open for everyone to see. I mean, understandably, it was early in the morning, so there weren't that many people around, but this guy has some nerve, just right in front of right in front of lots of people's houses, he carries out this vicious attack. So at 2:17 a.m. in the morning, Zara is violently attacked by Jordan. The attack with sexual assault as well lasts for 9 minutes in total, and then Jordan leaves Zara's body for dead. Not just happy with what he did to Zara, he actually took quite a few of her belongings. He took her phone, her purse, and even some of her clothing as well. He later discarded of these things, probably trying to cover up his tracks or something. I don't even know why he took them in the first place, but thankfully Zara was found shortly after this by a couple passing, and she was still alive at this point. She was really struggling to breathe. An ambulance was called, and the paramedics did all they could on the roadside to save Zara's life, but they were struggling, so they took her to hospital. But all the best efforts that were done by the doctors and all the staff there, she passed away later on that morning. Zara had sustained 46 separate injuries and was eventually strangled. So because there was so much CCTV on the lead up to the attack, and there was actually CCTV of the attack itself, the police quickly identified Jordan as the perpetrator, and within 36 hours Jordan was arrested. Thank God they could locate him this time. He did try and dispose of the clothes he was wearing while he committed the murder of Zara, but these were retrieved by police as he hid them close to where he was staying, not the mastermind criminal that he probably thought he was being. Actually, during his interview with the police, he refused to answer any questions, and he just told the police officers that he had ADHD, which is not an excuse for not answering questions, or not an excuse for murder even. So there is an end to this horrific crime that took place. So 5 months after Zara's murder, Jordan was finally brought into court, and he pled guilty, thank God. He was later sentenced to a mandatory life sentence. In this case, it was 30 years. But there is something else about this case that makes me so mad. During the sentencing, which is like in the UK is when the judge or lord tells you how long you're going to stay in prison, he didn't turn up. He refused to go. He didn't even have the I don't even know, he didn't even have it in him to go and face what he'd done. He refused to go, and he wasn't forced to go either, which I think is terrible. It is so cowardly and so disgusting for the family of Zara to be put through that. Another atrocious thing about this crime is that Jordan appealed his sentence and he won. His sentence actually got reduced from the 38 years to 33 years, which is mind-boggling. And while he's been in jail, he has actually got himself a lady friend. A prison officer and him had a fling, and they actually got caught in the act of you know what. I mean, this guy is just unbelievable. I wish that some women would have more standards for themselves. All in all, this case is a tragic one, which was anger inducing from the start to the very end. If you're interested, there is a really good documentary on this case. It has a lot of personal testimony from Zara's friends, which is heartbreaking. It's on the BBC iPlayer. It's called Killed Walking Home. I definitely recommend it. Yeah, I used it a lot when I was researching this story. Thank you so much for watching. I will love you and leave you. Stay safe, everybody. Bye.